Hello and welcome to another video on my channel. My name's Courtney and I love to read and talk about books, and today we are going to do another reading vlog. I feel like it's been a while since I've done a reading vlog. There was like a stretch of time there where I was doing back-to-back reading vlogs, and then I went on my trip and then I have not done one since then. So I figured it just sounded fun to get on here and chat with you guys about books. My camera looks like it might die, so hopefully it doesn't cut me off, but I wanted to kind of update you guys on where I'm at with my reading. I just last night finally finished Zodiac Academy number 8, and this, when I tell you this book is chunky, this is like 800 pages, but it's actually probably more. Like if you were to look at a normal size book, like this is a huge, very tall paperback. The margins are super tiny, the words are super tiny, so this is probably more like a 1,000-page book. And this did take me like 5 days to get through, which felt frustrating for someone who usually reads like very, very fast. I was definitely like, I would say after the 50% mark, like 60% and on, I was kind of bored with this. I was over it. It does get repetitive. Towards the end of this series, these books do tend to get repetitive. It was still fun. I just love being in this world with these characters, but it just seems like the same kind of things are happening over and over and over. I'm like, okay, like let's get to the end already. And I will say, and I'm always very vague about this, not to give it away, but there's a couple in here that does kind of finally get together, and that was what was carrying the latter half of this book for me, is these two characters. The ending, as usual, ended in like a crazy cliffhanger twist, but like at this point it's predictable because if you know anything about the Twisted Sisters, they do this, I feel like, at the end of every single book. Hence why there is a 9th book. Now, I did order the 9th book because, for one, I want all of my covers to match. I have the indie covers and I want to get them all before they're out of print, because I know that the new covers are rolling out at Barnes now. So I do love the new covers, but it was too late for me. Like I already had all of these ones, so I want to maintain, you know, the continuity of that. I don't know what I would rate this. I'd probably give it somewhere in the 3-star range. I can't remember what I've rated all of them. I think the first one I read, I gave like a 3-star, and then they started to get better. And then as, like after book 6, like book 7 through where I am now, it's just kind of, I'm kind of over it. I don't know. I probably will read book 9, hopefully, since I ordered it, just to see the conclusion of the series and to see, again, a couple of these characters finally like actually be together. It's lying as of right now somewhere in the 3-star range, and yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about this one, because it's definitely a book at the very end of a series, right? So that was that. I finished that last night, and I did also find myself kind of like skimming. That's another way that I can obviously tell that I'm not really loving the book as much as I should, is that I'm kind of just skimming. I was like speed reading, I was ready for it to be over. I do still love Zodiac Academy, so there's that. This morning, I knew what book I was going to pick up next, but I did not realize that I was going to pick it up and just absolutely start binging it, and that is One Golden Summer by Carly Fortune. The only other book, I said this wrong in my book haul video, but the only other book I read by Carly Fortune was Meet Me at the Lake, and that one I didn't love. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it, and so I've always been kind of hesitant to pick up another Carly Fortune book, but this one, I've just heard absolutely amazing things. Sorry, there's things going on outside my window. The town I live in is very busy right now. Regardless, I have heard nothing but good things about this, so I decided to pick it up because it's really giving like summer vibes, and being someone who lives near lakes and loves going to the lake, I thought that this would be absolutely perfect. And lo and behold, I am loving it. I am on chapter 13, so I'm like 90 pages in, and yeah, I'm obsessed already. What can I say about this? So far, I would say like the nostalgia, like the childhood summer nostalgia vibes are running rampant in this. This follows Alice, and it sounds like she spent multiple different times at this lake cottage, but the main one that she remembers is when she was 17, she spent the entire summer there, and she kind of started to get into photography. Her grandma got her into photography. She takes this photo of a boat on the lake with a bunch of kids just living life, and they're super free, and you can feel the joy coming out of the photo, and that kind of sparked her love for photography and took her career to a whole new level. And so now she's kind of in a career rut. Her relationship has failed. She's broken up with the guy that she was with, and now she's taking care of her grandma, and she decides, you know what, why don't I take grandma to Berry Bay, where we used to spend time together, and that'll hopefully cheer her up as she's kind of going through an injury, post-surgery. She also, Alice just needs like a reset, right? So she gets there, she ends up, she never met the guy in the photo. This isn't, I don't think this is the actual photo that they're talking about. This, I think, is the two main characters. But she meets the guy in the photo who she's never actually met before. She only knows him, hence the, like, via the photo. And she's like, oh my god, like, this is taking me back. And she writes a bucket list. Like, she wants to be more carefree, a little bit more wild, she wants to be less reserved. And I relate to her really hard. I relate to the main character in that she's very, like, regimented and worries and, like, takes care of people, but she kind of forgets to just, like, take a breath and sit back and enjoy life. And I feel like I also really need this reminder to not take everything so seriously and to just, like, take time for yourself, have some fun. And so she writes this bucket list, and it's kind of just like, what would I want to do if I was 17 again? How would I have done things differently? And one of the main things is there's this cliff jumping point that she wishes she had jumped off as a kid. Like, her brothers and sisters and friends did, but she didn't. And I'm like, wow, once again, that is so me. I would not be the person to cliff jump, but I don't know. I love this. I love the way that this is going. I can foresee maybe some bucket list tackling with her and Charlie. I already love Charlie, the MMC, so much. He's very much confident and flirty, but you can tell that there's something deeper going on underneath. He's going through something. There's got to be a reason, right, that he's staying at his cottage across the lake for summer, being that he's like a CEO or something, bigwig in the city. That's all I know so far. I'm absolutely loving this. The setting, the summer vibes are perfect. The nostalgia is hitting me. The flirty banter between these two characters already is on point. I think I was on chapter 5 and I was already, like, smiling ear to ear and giggling because he leaves a note on the fridge, because he's also helping take care of the cottage that she's staying in. And the note that he leaves on the fridge is so funny. I'm not going to give anything away. I think that it's best to kind of go in and just experience everything for yourself. But already, this is so good and shaping up to be a really good reading, so I'm super excited. Today is Thursday. I've been kind of taking it slow today. I worked out. I just showered, that's why my hair's all wet. And I think I want to go make a fun drink. So I think we should go make a fun drink together. And then I want to sit down and read a little more of One Golden Summer, because I almost just stabbed myself in the eye. I'm literally obsessed already. So let's go make a fun drink. This is the current state I'm in, and my AC is kicking on. I'm on page 23 or something like that, and it's just really hitting me. Like, this book definitely describes grief a lot, and she's talking to her grandma, and her grandma is kind of talking about her life and her kind of like regrets and the people that she misses and that she hasn't talked to in a long time. And This book is so good, guys. I really feel like this is gonna be a 5 stars, but I'm gonna go because I'm sure the AC is annoying. Okay, so as you probably just saw, I did finish One Golden Summer, and this was incredible. I don't even know how to explain to you the vibes, the nostalgia. Like, this book has some of the best nostalgic summery vibes of any book I've ever read. Like, I've read a lot of books that are like set in summer or set on the water or whatever, beach vacation. I don't think I've read a ton of books that are set on the lake, so maybe that's why this one hit really hard. Either way, this was so freaking good and just felt like childhood summers from the past, which makes sense because our main character in here, Alice, literally goes back to a cabin that she has spent some of her childhood in, specifically the summer when she was 17, and she basically writes herself a bucket list to have a 17-year-old summer once again and do all the things that she wishes she did back then. The cottage that they stay in is so warm and cozy, and the grandma they're very close. They have a very close relationship, so that was really sweet to see. And they do things together, and the grandma's just like very there for Alice and vice versa. And I really related to the main character. I loved Charlie, our main male character, so much. He's like very flirty, he's constantly smirking. The banter between these two is so good, the chemistry. But there's also a lot of really like deeper things going on. Obviously, grief, not just from like the main character with different things, but thinking into the future of like, you know, when these people aren't around anymore. And I think Des said it really well. Destiny said well on her channel the other day. Anticipatory grief. That can be really hard to read about, but I think the way that Carly Fortune did it in this book was so beautiful and impactful, and I highly, highly recommend this. I am definitely landing on a 5 stars with this just based on the vibes and how it made me feel. Like, I was so into this book. It felt like a movie in my head. I could picture everything. I could smell it. It was like I was there, and these characters feel like real people. Like, I feel like I could go to Barry's Bay and like Charlie and Alice would be there, and I loved their happily ever after, and I love the side characters. This actually makes me want to go back and read Every Summer After, Percy and Sam's book, because now I'm like, I love this world and I see why other people love this world. And so yeah, I loved this book. Book 1 of this vlog, highly successful, 5 stars. And yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna read next. Probably should look at my agenda for the day and see what the heck I have going on. I've just been sitting here reading, drinking my coffee. I just did my Bookstagram post of the day. I have stuff to do, but I don't know what. My mind after I finish a good book like this is always like, I'm just staring at the wall. So I'm gonna go collect myself, and then we'll see what I end up reading next. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what to read next. It's hours later. I've now walked, worked out, showered, eaten lunch, And here we are, trying to figure out what we're reading next. And I kind of read like the first page of like 5 or 6 books here on my TBR, mostly my newer ones. I think I'm kind of in the mood to read Our Deadly Designs by Kaylin Josephson. I read this Dark Descent a few months ago now, at least a few months ago, and I really enjoyed it at the time. I found it very different. It's YA fantasy, but I found it very different from anything I've ever read before because it follows like a magical horse race, which is really cool and unique. And I think it's also based on Jewish culture or something. I think it has like a Jewish basis, which again, I thought was really cool, really fun and different. And I don't know, I feel like I'm kind of in the mood to jump back into this. And the other thing is I opened this book up. By the way, the map in these books are just so detailed and insane. I love them. But I was opening this book up to try to figure out what the heck to read next, and I realized this is one of the rare books that has an actual recap of the first book before you go into this one. So I opened up, here, I won't show anything, but it says last time in this Dark Descent. And let me just say, can we like petition to have this be a thing in all subsequent books in a series, like after the first book? I feel like if they all had recaps, that'd be amazing, so that I didn't have to, you know, go back and reread or look up recaps or anything. Anyway, I think that kind of solidifies that I think I'm gonna read this one next, or attempt to read this one next. I don't know if I've already said this, but it's Friday, like 2:30, so we're winding down on the work day for me, kind of. What else? Hubby's on the way home. I plan to make tacos tonight, so those are the plans. It's Friday, I'm excited. But yeah, I think I'm gonna take this book outside. Might make a fun drink, don't sue me. Fun drinks and me lately have been, I've been going wild with the fun drinks. Can't be stopped. Anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna read this next because I'm in the mood for like a fantasy. I really kind of like to go back and forth between romance, fantasy, or like fantasy or other genre, but basically a romance in between each one. So yeah, I think this is what I'm gonna do. We're gonna go from there, but I will catch you in the next clip. I'm back with updates. So, you know how the last time I saw you, I was reading this book? Well, I got to page 40 last night, which is chapter 5, and I just like wasn't in the mood. I wasn't vibing with this. So I'm gonna set it aside for now. I don't know, it's not a hard DNF. I don't even know if it's a soft DNF. I just am like setting it down for now. And I might later on this week, later on this weekend, whenever, I might be in the mood for this again. I don't know, there's nothing like wrong with it. It's just sometimes my brain like doesn't grasp fantasy. And so I put this down last night and decided to pick up Delicate Escape, which is book 2 in the Sparrow Falls series. And I really am liking this series. I really liked book 1. I think I gave that one 3.5 or 4 stars, maybe 4 stars. The covers are absolutely stunning. I feel like it's matching me today. I'm like dressed to go to my best friend's baby shower soon. But yeah, so I figured this was a perfect time to update you guys on the fact that I am playing this one. So maybe I'm just in a romance mood right now. I don't know. But I got, between last night and this morning, I'm 72 pages in, chapter 10. And yeah, this one's really good. This one follows Thea, who you get a little bit of a glimpse of in the first book, and you can tell that like something really bad's happened to her. She's in hiding. She doesn't like have a cell phone, or she doesn't give out her address, literally nothing. She insists on being paid in cash. And so you can tell that something bad has happened. And this book leads with, you know, what has happened to her and why she is the way she is. But yeah, so this one follows Thea and Shepard Coulson, which is one of the brothers from the family that this whole series follows. Who does book 1 follow? I'm so bad with like remembering names and stuff. Rhodes. And so Shep is Rhodes's brother, but I think he's adopted because the family is Fallon and Copeland, I think, are the like biological children. And then the other ones are all adopted to make this like big found family. Anyway, Shep is like very happy-go-lucky, charming, outwardly like, right here it says, golden boy charm and devastating good looks, easy smiles, all of that. So yeah, he's very much that kind of like golden retriever, helps everyone character. And he's very intrigued by Thea. He can tell that she's been hurt before, so he's treading lightly, but he really like wants to help her. So I'm really excited to see them actually come together, and I'm excited to see Thea like let down her walls for him. So yeah, I'm again not very far in, it's just kind of setting us up. But I'm very excited, and all of these books also have like a little bit of a mystery in them. This one I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be yet, other than I know that Thea is like very skittish, like she checks her locks a million times and she's always kind of looking over her shoulder, kind of a thing. So I don't know if we're going to get a mystery involving her, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm liking the series more than I thought I would. I kind of at first just thought these would be like, I don't know, easy, quick palette cleansers, but I like actually really like them. Not that I don't like books that I deem as palette cleansers, but like I feel myself really invested in this world and these characters. So yeah, that's how that's going. I'm loving this, hoping to be able to read some more before I leave for the baby shower. I have to leave in like a couple hours, well, like an hour and a half. So I might get a little bit more reading in now, and also hopefully tonight. But yeah, I will keep you guys updated. Again, I'm just setting this one aside for now. We'll see what ends up happening with that. But that's the update for now, and I will catch you soon.
Okay? Because what do you mean you're calling me a kitten? Ew! Excuse me? A kitten? And then pup. Oh, you know what? Pup is really good.
Hello. It has now been multiple days since the last B-roll that you saw, and that is because I promptly got sick. So that kind of derailed my reading plans. I think I just had like a really bad head cold, but it kind of prevented me from reading much yesterday and the day before. So I did end up finishing, I did end up finishing Delicate Escape. So I do want to talk about my final thoughts on this one, as well as the book that I started after that. If I sound congested or I look all like red and weird, that is because I'm still getting over this cold. I feel better today. I actually slept last night, which was great, but now I have like a lingering congestion cough thing going on, so that's lovely. But anyway, that's what I've been up to. It is now like 10 a.m. on Wednesday. I did finish Delicate Escape yesterday, and I was still kind of like in the fog, the haze, if you will, of my cold, so I don't even really remember too much of like the last 20 pages. This was fun. I don't know, this is just like a feel-good series for me. I rated Fragile Sanctuary 3.5 stars, and I would say this one's pretty much along the same vein, the same rating. I'd probably give this one also like a 3.5 as of right now. It's not anything that's like super gonna stick with me or anything, but again, it is like just like a good feel-good small town romance, but with those mystery elements, so it gives it a little bit of extra intrigue to keep you going even when the characters get together, because something that usually happens to me in romance is that once the characters get together, I'm not as interested anymore. But that doesn't happen as much in these because you still have that ongoing mystery element to solve. In this one, Thea has some some issues with her past that are starting to show up in her present day life, which she's obviously not happy about, she's very scared about, and so Shep kind of helps her through that and becomes her safe space. And I really liked their relationship. I love Shep. He's very much golden retriever. He's all in on her, and he's very, from the first time he sees her, he's like very intrigued by her and kind of feels a protectiveness towards her, which I love that kind of character. No, I really liked this, and I do want to continue with this series. I think the next one I need to read is Broken Harbor, so you might be seeing me buying those soon. I'm very tempted to just go like buy the rest of the series because I don't know, I really like it. I like Sparrow Falls a lot, so that is that. Again, I think I'm gonna give it like probably like a 3.5. That might change once I get out of this haze of being in a cold. I might be able to think better. I don't know, 3.5 right now sounds right. So that was that. And then I haven't picked Our Deadly Designs. I have not picked that up again since I softy DNF'd it. So I do think that's gonna just stay a soft DNF for now. However, yesterday I did pick up Nightbane, which is book 2 in the Lightlark series, because I just needed something like easy. I was in the mood for fantasy, but I wanted something that didn't take a lot of brain power I could just kind of fall into. And the good thing about this one is that even though it's been a little while since I've read Lightlark, I picked this one up, and the way that like the first chapter's written already had me kind of remembering what went down in Lightlark. So I am really liking this one. Again, YA fantasy. This one follows Isla Crown, and in the first one she has to kind of participate in these games or trials. It's kind of like a trials type of a book where all of these different parts of this world, factions if you will, there's sunlings, wildlings, moonlings, they all have different powers, and they all have a different curse that kind of goes with their specific powers. So they were cursed, and then every year they have to have a representative from each faction participate in these games to try to get them out of and like break these curses. And so that's what Isla is doing in the first one, is trying to participate in those games, break that curse, and then this one picks off right from where Lightlark ended. So I can't say much about the plot of this one, obviously, if you haven't read book 1, but I am really liking this one. These books are well known for being a love triangle, and I'm not always the biggest fan of love triangles, but I will say this one is getting me and I'm liking it right now. I don't know whose team I'm on. I'm not on like a certain side firmly yet. I like both of our MMCs in this book. Oro is like golden, he's a sunling, so his power is like fire, light, warmth, that is him. And then the other MMC is the opposite. He is from the Nightshade court, and his name's Grim, and he has like, you know, dark shadow powers and stuff like that, and he would usually be the MMC that I would gravitate towards. But I was really liking Oro in the first book, but I don't know, I might be swayed in this book because we're getting like a past and present timeline, and we're seeing some things that we didn't get to see. I'm thinking we're gonna see some sides of Grim that we didn't get to see in the last book. So like I said, my opinion might change upon reading this, but I'm really liking this. I'm flying through it. I'm only on page, I don't even know, 70? I'm on page like 73, but I really have only read it a tiny little bit last night and a tiny little bit this morning. So I would say that I will be able, if I like get a good chunk to just sit down and read, I can probably fly right through this, which I love about this series, and just like YA fantasy in general usually is just easy to gobble right up. So yeah, I'm enjoying this. Like I said, today is Wednesday. I have laundry going. I have laundry going to try to get all of the sick germs out of my house, you know, had to do the sheets and all the blankets and stuff like that. And so that's going. I have a full basket of just like my own clothes to do as well. I should really go start another load of laundry. Joy. But anyway, while that's going on, I've also been disinfecting everything in my house. I've been wiping down all of the kitchen, the living room, all the surfaces basically with like disinfectant, because I just want to feel better. And I do feel better today, but like I said, I just have that lingering congestion, cough. I'm still feeling a little bit like weak and tired, so there's that. But yeah, I'm hoping by tomorrow I will feel back to normal. Like I said, this kind of did really derail my plans for this reading vlog. I think I'll probably try to give you guys like one more update before ending this vlog, but I would love to be able to edit this tomorrow and get it up by Friday. So fingers crossed, we will see. But yeah, that's what's going on. Cleaning, laundry, trying to feel better. It's beautiful out. The worst part about having a cold in the summer, as we all know, is that like the weather's beautiful out, which just doesn't feel right being sick when it's 90 degrees and beautiful and sunny out. So what are you gonna do? I'm going to continue trying to get better. Chugging water. I've got all the windows and stuff open, trying to get the bad germs out, get the bad juju out. But yeah, that's what's going on. Clearly, I showered. That always helps me feel better too when I'm sick, is just showering, washing my hair. So yeah, I'm actually feeling pretty good, like mentally. I already did my check-ins this morning too. So we're on a good path. And yeah, also hubby's gonna be home sometime today, earlier than usual, I think he said. So that's exciting as well. We have lots of stuff going on. I'm gonna read and let you know the next time I have an update, but that's why I have been MIA.